obviously there's so much build-up for a test series like this, but when it comes down to it now, are you just basically champing at the bit to get it started?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a few of us have obviously been on an A tour for about a month or so preparing. Other guys have been in the World Cup. The last sort of 10 or so days together have been really good practice. We had a good hit out together down at Southampton, and I think everyone's really keen to get out there and be a part of what's always a huge series.
There's obviously been a lot of speculation about the bowling lineup in particular. Is the fact that there is that speculation, I know you don't want to name a team, but is there a sort of a change in this sort of feeling that reputation doesn't necessarily count for anything?
No, certainly reputation counts. I mean, guys have had long, successful careers and we know how good they are. We're just in a really good situation at the moment where we've got a number of quality fast bowlers in particular. And we've probably looked at what's happened over here previously, and we want to make sure that every test match we go into, we're picking the right attack for the conditions that we're faced with. And as I said, we're lucky that we feel we've got a lot of bases covered with the guys we've got on this tour, and it's one of the reasons we picked a number of fast bowlers is so every time we got to a venue we had plenty of options to pick from, and it's up to us to come up with the best combination to get the 20 wickets.
Tim, this will be the first time in your captaincy that you'll have the guys of the experience of Smith and Warner possibly standing next to you in the slip cordon. So have you given it a ponder to how you can utilize them from a leadership point of view?
Yeah, no different to any other game of cricket. If the more experienced players you've got on a team, generally, the more it's going to help. So, we're in a really lucky situation at the moment where we've got two world-class batsmen, two guys that have played a lot of cricket in England, a lot of big test series and a lot of big test matches. So for us not to tap into their knowledge would be silly. So yes, certainly guys have used them individually. They've spoken a lot in team meetings, the very few that we've had. And yeah, as I said, we'd be stupid not to use those guys, as well as some of our quicks that have been here before, have learnt lessons from being here before. So it's important that we learn from them and put what we've learned into practice in this series.
Tim, have you settled on an 11?
Yes, I have, but I don't get the final say. So we'll have a team put out tomorrow at the toss.
And just are the two teams going to shake hands before the start of the series like you have done in the past?
I haven't spoken to Joe about that, to be honest. So, potentially, if we have time tomorrow, we will. Granted, tomorrow is normally a pretty busy build-up to a test match. Nash's one is not like any other, so no doubt we'll be squeezed for time. But, I'll chat to him in the morning, and if we've got time, then maybe.
We've seen Alex Carey do well in the World Cup, and obviously you took over this job in difficult circumstances, but a year or so on, is it harder to justify your place when we've seen Carey do well? Wade's probably going to play as a batsman.
Yep.
Do you feel under pressure to justify your place?
No, not at all. I'm 34 years old, mate. I don't really care about my place in the side anymore. I'm here to do a job. I've been put in this team to captain and wicket keep to the best of my ability. That's all I do. And I've said it before, at 34 years age, if you're looking further ahead than the next test match, you're kidding yourself. So I certainly realise how lucky I am, the position that I've come from and the position that I'm now in. And I'm not going to waste time looking over my shoulder, mate. I'm enjoying the job I'm doing and loving being in England, being part of an Ashes series, and I'm just looking to enjoy it as much as I can.
Chris, James, Dean and Tony.
Tim, in terms of player behaviour, does a line still exist? And if so, will your team headbutt it during the series?
Again, I've spoken a lot about this in the last 12 months. We're going to play competitive test match cricket like every other nation does. Our guys understand what's expected of them. We're role models, not just for Australian people, but all around the world. And, there's been a quote going around our change rooms this week from Winston Churchill, actually, and that's that behaviour doesn't lie. So we can talk all we like about how we're going to behave. Ultimately, you guys will see how we behave and you'll be able to judge for yourself.
England have reshuffled the top order. Joe Root's moved up to 3. Do you think they're vulnerable there?
Oh, look, I think batting the top order in England is difficult for everyone. Certainly, I think both sides are probably looking at each other and trying to pick holes and see opportunities. But again, it's one thing talking about it and one thing exploiting it. And We've got to focus on what we do, particularly as a bowling group, make sure we're getting balls in the areas that we've spoken about to their top 3 or 4 batsmen. And if we do, we think we can create some opportunity like they will with us.
I can ask what this Ashes rivalry means to you and your team.
Oh, it means a hell of a lot. Every time you play Test cricket against anyone, it's a real honour to be out there and representing your country. And there's no doubt the history of the Ashes takes that to another level. So, look, as I said before, everyone's excited. We've got a huge opportunity to come to England, do something that even some of our great teams haven't managed to do in the last 20 years. And we've got some self-belief that we can do it. Everyone's excited and can't wait.
Tim, where did that Churchill quote come from? Have you been reading up on great English leaders of the past?
No, Brad hadn't actually brought that up with me the other day. It was in one of our chats we had. I quite liked it, and again we've raised that with our own team. We have also internally spoken about our behaviour and the way we want to be seen, and I think it's a great quote for us, and it's a great quote for you guys, because instead of me having to come into every press conference in the last 12 months and talk about our behaviour, you can just watch us and judge for yourself.
Usman Khawaja said that, in terms of some of those things, that there's a bigger picture. Sometimes there's things that are more important maybe than even results. What's the most important thing for you on this tour? Is it being a rare Ashes winning captain in England, or is it how your team are behaving and performing?
I believe we can do both. And it's not about me being a winning captain, it's about us being a winning squad and a winning team. So, again, whether I was captain or not, that doesn't change the fact that I want to win. It doesn't mean any more or any less to me because I'm captain, and I'm just excited for the challenge and the opportunity that we as a group of cricketers have got in front of us.
Tim, I know that the Barmy Army isn't your primary concern here, but they do have a voice, and it tends to be growing. They've vowed to go hard on the 3 players in particular, assuming all 3 play. How do you tend to counter that? I mean, can it fall on deaf ears, or what's the advice around the rooms?
It can. I think we've spoken about it, obviously. But again, most of what we've spoken about has been positive. I think the Barmy Army, I've played against them a few times, and I had them in the crowd. Sorry, I haven't played against the Barmy Army. They don't bat and bowl, but they just add to the atmosphere, and that's part of the history of Ashes cricket. It's great to be out on the ground. It might not be great when you're the person that's copying the song, but it's one of those things. If you come to England, have some success, win a Test series, I think it's a lifelong memory, and you can look back over the years, and I think, as I said, it'll build long memories for our group that we've been able to come and counter that and put it to the side and perform under high pressure. But obviously we've spoken about it, addressed it, and guys again are looking forward to that, because it's part and parcel of coming here. It can sometimes drive your group and make you even tighter. So one of the big things we've spoken about on the field is making sure that we're driving our own energy and we're building our own atmosphere out on the ground. And if we can do that, we know that our inner circle's unbreakable.
Last 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tim, when you realised that Edgbaston was the first venue for the first Test match, did Australia hearts sink a little bit?
Where is that? Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Again, what another opportunity. England haven't lost here in how long? I don't even know. I haven't even looked at it. Doesn't concern us at all. I know a lot of the time when teams come to Australia and they have to go to the Gabba or the Wacker, it plays on their minds. So I've seen it work in reverse. Doesn't affect us. We know we've got our plans individually. We've got our plans as a team. And it's about us going out there on Thursday and executing that skill. And if we believe, if we do that, it doesn't matter if we played Edgbaston, the Gabba, or on the Moon. We think our best cricket is good enough, and the Edgbaston pitch or the Edgbaston crowd or the grandstand or whatever it is certainly won't play a part in deciding this Test match.
Is there a more intimidating ground in world cricket
than this? I could name you 15.
Robert at the front here, please. Rob, wait for the mic.
In terms of concussion subs, have you had a chance to have that meeting with the match ref?
Yeah, we have.
Are you satisfied? Sort of clarity is there, and
yeah, satisfied as you can be. I think it's going to be an interesting situation. We've gone through some scenarios today, and basically we've been told that it will come down to the match referees. It'll be his decision. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, I think, for both sides if something was to happen, and who the player would be and what he can or can't do, or where he couldn't bat. But again, that's something at this stage that we can't control, and we'll deal with it if we have to.
Tim, just going back to what you said, the conversations you've had about the reception the three guys might get, is that because what they've received so far has unsettled them, or is the potential to unsettle them?
Well, I think it's got the potential to unsettle anyone. They're human beings. They've got feelings. They're no different to anyone else. What we've spoken about is that we believe it's going to go up a notch. We thought the guys handled themselves superbly throughout the World Cup, and someone like Bangers, who hasn't witnessed it yet, but certainly Steve and Dave handled themselves superbly. We just, again, spoke about the fact that we think it's going to go up a notch, and traditionally I feel if you speak about what might happen when it does, you've got the plan in place to handle it, and that's all we've done.
You've got 5 tests in 6 weeks. I mean, how much has that sort of affected your planning and preparation? And do you think that's a crazy schedule?
No, I don't mind the schedule. I haven't played much international cricket, and I personally love it. The more cricket, the better. So, but yeah, certainly if you're a fast bowler, there's going to be some planning, and there's some plans in place in the background to make sure that we're managing our fast bowlers in particular, and even guys that have come off the back of the World Cup with even some sort of mental burnout being a possibility. So yeah, we've certainly got plans in place, but again, no plan's perfect, and things can change. We could have a washed out test match or a 3-day test, who knows. So great that we're planned, but we've just got to be flexible with it and do the best thing by our players. And again, that's one of the reasons we've got a number of fast bowlers here who we think can step up at any time and do the job.